back. It is time to start the next episode for the 53 Chevy Lowrider project. We're now at the end of October, being we're in Iowa and this is an unheated shop. This video might be going up here yet in October, November, or it might be coming up in the summer next year. We'll see. But right now it's October 2020 and I'm going to show you what we're going to get done today. So the next step for this frame is going to be to get the mounts for the forelinks put back on. I mentioned before I already had some mounts made and they were attached to the frame before I wrapped it. And not only did they have to come off because I wrapped the frame, they also were hideous. In redesigning them, this is what I've come up with. I didn't film this process because I just spent, I don't know, like hours and hours getting all these angles right. But this will basically go here, and then there's going to be another one underneath, right down here, and then this will attach to those. The specifics of how that'll attach will make a lot more sense once this part's done. So I'm just going to get to making 3 more of these. I've got some stock here, I've got some stock back here, but I'm going to go on time lapse and make 4 of these. Okay, so in the last time lapse, you saw me make up these 4 pieces with the angle in them. I now have them all clamped into place, or the bottom 2 anyway, the tricky ones, because these have to be notched to go around the bottom plate of the frame. So they're clamped in place, and I'm just getting ready to do the final welding on them. And really the only thing I have to make sure with these bottom ones is that they're not tilted up or down, and then with the top ones I can just maintain parallelism top to bottom. I'm probably not going to make the brackets to hold the 4 links, but once I get this stuff welded on, I will bring you back out of time lapse and explain how the end brackets are going to go. Let's get to it. Welcome back. It's been about a week since that last clip, and what a difference a week can make when it comes to the weather in Iowa. Just 2 days after that clip where it was, pretty nice out here, like long sleeve t-shirt weather, it did this. And then since then it has gotten back up into the 80s and then down into the 30s, and today is just cold and miserable and windy, so you'll probably hear the wind in the background, some of this. The game plan for today, I just want to get these bottom 4 links attached to the frame, to the part that I did in those last clips. And I'm probably not going to explain too much what I'm doing here. There's going to be 2 plates and they attach to that and they hold it, and the specifics will become evident as I get into the time lapse. I'm going to start off by looking around trying to find some 1/4-inch plate. I was going to stop by my usual steel supplier today and just pick up a piece, but the coronavirus cases are really spiking in Iowa right now. And that metal supplier, I think they think they're too cool for face masks. So I'm a little squeamish about going in there. My job at work is really important. We're making coronavirus test kits. If I get sick and I can't go in, then my entire shift can't come in. And I'm not about to put everyone in jeopardy over that. So I'm gonna dig around, try to find some 1/4-inch plate here somewhere and get to making those. So I just spent a bunch of time organizing my metal stock. These are the old 4-link mounts that I said were hideous. I stand by that statement. But these are 1/4-inch thick, so I would like to stick with that. These, obviously, if I cut them off, they're just gonna be way too short for what I need. So here's what I found for 1/4-inch. These are 2 pieces from the side of a trailer hitch, 1/4-inch. I think they're gonna be just big enough. And this mystery piece, also 1/4 inch. I think it'll be just big enough. So this is gonna be my new 4-link brackets. Let's see what I can do. Alright, so I've made my templates. This one's kind of not safe for work. So what'll happen, this will just get welded in here. This will get welded on here and then bent slightly out. And that's basically it. Not very fancy, but it doesn't need to be. Alright everyone, I'm calling it a day. These are just tacked into place right now, and I just have a random bolt stuck through here because I hit a stop-in point for the dumbest reason ever. I don't have a drill bit out here larger than 1/2 inch, and these are 5/8 bolts. So, kind of stuck. I don't want to weld these in permanently until I can run a bit all the way through and make sure these are perfectly lined up. That's what I came up with. I think it should be plenty sturdy. Man, that was a lot of work. I'm gonna get out of here and get cleaned up, and see you in the next one. Hey, I'm taking a brief interlude here to talk gauges. So I've been restoring the gauges here. I haven't been recording it, mostly because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just stumbling through it. So I finished the clock. There's how that came out, and I will post a picture here of the before and after. Basically all I did was took it apart, cleaned it, oiled it, put it back together. I did repaint the hands as well as this flat black trim ring. I did the same thing here. I just repainted the indicator. And you can see the before and after. I think I made an improvement. But I wanted to discuss one specific thing I did in here that other people might have an interest in. Okay, so the high beam shines through this little area right here. And originally, there was a socket. I don't know where it is, but it would just snap in the back. Then there was a cardboard tube glued in here, and then this little piece of tinted but clear red plastic. If you shine a light through it, it lights up red. And that was glued on top. And then the face one on top just made a little red light show up when you'd have the high beams on. I didn't like that for a couple reasons. One being that it was a big bright bulb shining through there that would just get hot and would over time degrade things. I'd rather have it just be like a small LED that wouldn't create as much heat. Also, I kind of wanted the light to be blue. I mean, that's kind of the standard now. There wasn't apparently a standard in 1953. I'm trying to keep everything original, but since that's one of those things that nobody's ever gonna see unless you're actually driving the car and have the high beams on, it's still gonna look completely original. I felt safe changing that because it always seemed weird to me to have the high beams on when I was driving the car and there'd be this red light, and for a second I'd always have to think like, oh, what's that warning light? But of course there are no warning lights. That was high beams. Today we would associate a red light with something important happening. So I decided I wanted a small blue light. The simple way to do it would just be to get a little piece of clear blue plastic and spray it with some translucent black paint and just do the exact same thing that was done before. But in an attempt to reduce heat and eliminate, I don't know, cardboard and super glue, I turned this up on the lathe out of a piece of Delrin. Now all this is the same OD, which is 5/8 of an inch the same overall length. Sorry, the heater turned on that time of year. I drilled a through hole that's the exact same size as an LED. Here's a blue one, obviously. And that can just push in there nice and tight. On this end, I just ran a countersink to make it taper in 45 degrees and then end up with a lip there about the same size as the cardboard. So that will just press in right where the cardboard went on, and once everything's together, you'll never know anything has changed, but we'll have a blue LED instead. So let me hook it up to power and turn off the lights and show you what it'll look like. Alright, so here we are with the lights off. This is basically what it would have looked like originally for the high beams. It's a little weird seeing red for a high beam. And here it is with my modification. I like that look a lot more. So there you have it. That's all I really wanted to go over with that, because I'm sure I'm not the first person who's wanted to change that from red to blue, or opened this up in horror and found that it was a piece of cardboard glued in there from the factory. Standards have changed a lot for manufacturing since the 50s. Back then, a piece of cardboard glued into a gauge was fine. I'm digging through my gauge. Another thing I'd like to show off. There's a guy making these. Don't ask me for his info because I don't remember. This was a year or two ago. But that's the indicator lens, adapted to be in the same order as a 204R transmission, which is what I'm using. It's the original. I don't know if I have it in here. Probably have it out at the shop, but it's in a weird order. It's like, I think reverse is all the way down here, and it's like, I don't know, it's weird. So that's cool. That's in my box of gauges, and this will be next. It's got the common problem of the little letters falling off. They make replacement glass, so I will be ordering one and redoing this probably off camera. So thanks for coming along with me on this little detour. We will get back to the frame soon.